And earlier with the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Performance and Delivery Management, Moses Kuria, on matters delivery in the government. Let's listen in.
To just deliver by making people deliver, assisting people deliver.
Right.
Assisting. Yeah. But good to be back here. And this wonderful, great team.
Karibu sana.
I must say, in another life, after reincarnation, I'll be a radio guy.
Oh, yeah? Any idea when that'll be?
Well, hopefully not soon.
Okay.
After reincarnation?
After reincarnation.
That's when you want to be back.
But Waziri has a point. Given his career that he has chosen for quite a while now, I don't think there is a better school for training someone to come and do what we do here. Because now he'll be speaking from a position of knowledge.
No, but I'm just saying you know, in one of Eric's previous life, we used to have a regular show.
Yeah.
I think it was it on Sundays?
It was on Sundays.
Sundays at
Talk
4
360, yes.
Talk 360. I worked with him for close to 2 years. And I loved it, you know. I think if you ask me, radio is a jacuzzi of sorts compared to, you know, TV, for example. And that's good for conversations, yeah.
Very good. Siti.
Yes.
Welcome, Waziri, with the day's proverb. This week, the proverbs are from?
Seychelles.
Seychelles.
Yes, the island country of Seychelles.
Okay.
You may not know this, but it got its independence from the UK in 1976. Just the other day, here. Now, the thing that you'll find peculiar and interesting about it is it has a population of just slightly more than 100,000.
100,000 what?
People. Not trees, not blades of grass.
Not iguanas. Human beings.
People. They are
100,000.
They are not many.
Okay.
They are
not
not
seashells.
No, not she sells seashells by the seashore. Not that one. No. The people are not many.
Okay.
A beautiful island. The capital is called Victoria. You'll want to know who the president is, isn't it? And then I'll tell you in the next hour.
Okay.
For now, the proverb. A dog that lives in the band of a river never tires of lapping the water.
A dog that lives
The band of a river never tires of lapping the water.
In the first hour, you said something about a brook city.
Yeah.
I did not say brook.
Well, you did, and that's how we started saysaying, what's the difference between a brook?
I did not say brook.
What did you say?
I know I said brook, but I'm going to deny I said brook.
Because you told us a dog that lives by the brook.
Yeah.
Yes, that was me paraphrasing.
So this one is in the band of a river. What is the band of a river?
All right. It's actually, let me read it again so that we understand each other. I'm delighted that the two of you are alert.
Okay.
Can I read it now
Please
instead
read
of paraphrasing?
Okay.
And ad-libbing.
All right.
A dog that lives on the bank of a brook never tires of lapping the water.
What? Let's just come to you.
Yeah, because
Whether it's a band of a brook or a river.
You know, you guys are kidogo elite. I'm a villager. So for me, he lost me because if I go and tell my villagers about that dog, then the next thing, umetuita mbwa sasa. So I wouldn't even think beyond that. So let's leave it at that.
Okay. Can you leave the ban out?
Okay.
And just
It's a river.
no brook. It's actually brook.
In this country, it's a brook. Now Moses will go and tell his people.
Okay, river. Okay.
Pass.
Sawa.
A
River.
dog that lives by the river
Yes.
will never tire
Yes. Of lapping.
lapping
In water,
In
yes.
water.
Yes.
Aye, Waziri, now you can interpret that one.
Well, there's a Swahili proverb that says, Mgaga na upwa, hali wali mkavu. Meaning, you know, that guy who is, I don't know exactly whether it's by the seashore, but I think it's something very, 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 very close to this one. So I'm sure what Titin is saying is something about, we are very, by the way, even where I come from, there is some many form of saying that. But I think that's a story for another day.
Okay.
As long as you're there, you will.
Yeah, something will come by.
Something will
Isn't it?
come.
Actually, this is the beauty of these interpretations. You can never imagine how someone is going to interpret a proverb. When they interpret it, you had never thought of it, but you say, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, because you are not translating a proverb.
Yes.
You are translating grammar.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, we saw you over the weekend. You were in Meru, and there was the Moses Kuria, was it football tournament?
Yeah, I've seen.
And it's been there covered in the news. Prior to this, you had promoted it and said you're going to have leaders coming in. You're going to have the deputy president among those who attend. You're going to have many people coming to the ground. And then we saw many people came to the ground. Some did not come. How was it though? What was it all about?
The tournament that I am coordinating or sponsoring within that region. We've had similar tournaments. We had one in Western Kenya. Cleophas Malala was doing something there. Before then, Kipchumba Murkomen was doing something for Rift Valley. And
Eliud Owalo in
Nyanza. So it's just a way of everyone giving back for their region.
Even those guys are doing the Moran's Golden Cup in Kajiado.
Absolutely. So that's the thing. But then for me, within the region that I chose where I come from, 11 counties from Nakuru all the way to Isiolo, 66 constituencies. So a lot of trying to tie up the football thing, and now the problem that we are facing now on the fighting illicit brews and drug abuse within our youth. Some people had this approach of forceful approach and this kind of thing for those young people. I was of different opinion. I said that you don't need to condemn them, and you can actually mobilize them for positive change. In my tournament, before the weekend matches, you win points two ways. You win points by winning football, and every week you have to do a community service project. And you have as a team. And then you have to do some counseling, peer counseling of each other on these issues of drugs. And photos, we are sending some people to some adjudicators to go and verify that's happening. So that, it's not as a football thing, but trying to get these young people to take charge of their own lives and to be their brothers' keepers. And it's working great in terms of that. And of course, that messaging, which I think for me, I chose the soft messaging as opposed to the hard messaging. Does it mean that the hard messaging is bad? Not necessarily. But I just thought of introducing a new paradigm there, which people can compare.
Why not take this idea of the soft messaging and the hard messaging, combine them so that it is rolled out as one by government? Because the government is going the hard way. Close bars tomorrow. Shut down those second generation liquor manufacturers tomorrow. Stop licensing people tomorrow. It's all gung-ho and go.
Well, let's say, first of all, no one person can say I'm the one who is the owner of this fight, because it is a very serious fight. So I think there's a lot of work, but where are the workers? The Bible says. So I think we need all hands on deck, so nobody can say that you are duplicating what I'm doing, because this is a huge problem. I think it's going to be a synthesis, and it is only fair that everybody is given an opportunity to test your hard-nosed tactics, for others to test their soft approach. I'm even calling for a third one. There's the intellectual approach, which is really totally missing.
Let me ask the question again, more directly. You took this to Meru County.
Yes.
This is the Meru region. The Greater Meru region is where the Cabinet Secretary for Interior comes from, right? He's spearheading the other approach. The Deputy President is from Mount Kenya region. He is also spearheading the other approach. Why, have you talked to them and told them, guys, how about we also go with this approach?
No, we are talking. We keep talking. Last year, we had a conference of this issue in Chuka, which the Deputy President chaired, and I did announce some proposals for legislation, which were able to be carried through the finance bill. And this year I'm doing the same, because I think that that route of legislation is some intellectual approach. Yeah? And I'm also doing this other one of the soft approach. And somebody else is doing the other one. I think there's going to be a meeting point at some point. Does it have to be at the beginning? No. But because nobody is really sure of, so let's call it also some work in progress or some experimentation. Who knows? Maybe the Buduki one will work. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the soft one of counseling these young people will work. Who knows? Maybe, let me just give you an example. I believe that one of the biggest contributors to the illicit brews is our taxation structure. I believe that, for example, if you look at those spirits, because I sat with KRA people and we did the number crunching. And we established that the kind of spirits that are being sold in those villages, for 250 ml, the bottle, that is the most frequent, the popular, packaging, the cost is 250 shillings. So if you find someone who is selling that bottle for less than 250, certainly, one, he's not using the right ingredients. Two, meaning that it's outright poison. Or two, he's not paying taxes. Or three, it's both. So I keep saying, because I've challenged even these security guys, because this is scary, and we have done our math. So I've challenged them and I've told them, perhaps, even before you look at anything, let the police, and I said this last week in Embu, let the police go all over and look for anyone who is selling this bottle for less than 250 and invite them for a cup of tea at the police station so they can share their formula. Right. It's an open shut case. That's what I'm calling the kidogo, tukitumia akili kitu kidogo. We'll find some solution. Number two, to make that spirit, you need ethanol. So ethanol comes. So what happens is that when ethanol comes in, the one who brings in the ethanol or who buys the ethanol, if you are a distiller, you have to pay excise duty on ethanol or the input. Yep. Then you go and convert that into alcohol, into spirit, and then you sell. And then the at the point of production, you've bought some stamps from KRA to pay excise duty now on the final product. Then when you're slapped with the invoice for the excise duty for the final product now, you say, wait a minute, I had already paid
input excise.
Exactly, input excise. So deduct. Do you know what? The guy of the output does not ask. There's no system connecting the output tax from what they are claiming as the input. So most of the time, these guys have not paid the input tax, but they still get it as a deduction. So meaning it's KRA who is subsidizing illicit brews. I'm very clear on that. I'm going to put some legislation in this finance bill to stop the input tax, so that when you pay the output tax, there's nothing to claim back. So there's nothing to subsidize these illicit brews. And you know what? Having a tax which is not being claimed back, there is something called the ease of tax administration. Meaning the KRA's work is simplified. Because can you imagine all this calculation? It's so complicated. So I am calling for also that track, where we use our minds kidogo and ask ourselves, what is the root cause that has contributed to this, and how can I have long-lasting solution? You know what? It's not the first time bars have been closed.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not the first time that a country is having this conversation.
No.
Much more. When you're a member of parliament, you are having this conversation.
We banned, Uhuru Kenyatta centers all over.
In Kiambu, you guys did.
I was taken to court. And so I was many people, Fernando Itito and all that. We used to have many meetings. And that was the entire political class, coming together on this or whatever. So, sometimes, you have to fight the battle with different, tactics, weapons, and strategies. And this particular time, I am convinced that we need a soft approach, like the ones I'm doing on the football. We need an intellectual approach, that the one looks at the root cause of the matter. And maybe there's a place in heaven for everyone.
So are you saying,
including brute force?
Sure. I mean, just quickly on that, then, Waziri, are you then saying that this blanket approach to shut everything down, close it down, is not going to work?
I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just let me say, put it this way, that the jury is out. But I believe that sometimes we need to be very cognizant of. Sometimes it's very good policy, but sometimes even unlike what the Bible talked about, new wine in old wineskins that cannot coexist. I still do believe that we can have coexistence, and I think that's the biggest challenge to policy implementation. Do you shut off completely from old to new, and everything we're trying to do is right? I can tell you, I'm more than convinced from where I sit, but the implementation needs to be cognizant of the need to avoid disruptions. Because even the wonderful things ought to be, calibrated in such a way whereby, there's not a one time you shut off the country to implement change. At Ukuta imeandikwa kwa notice board of the country, Kenya is closed for renovation. No, it can't happen. So since we have to coexist old and new, then I think that needs to have some tampering with some patience.
The efforts that are being made are clear, and as you say correctly, it's not the first time. 2015 was also not the first time. This issue has been there with us for the longest time. But the question that one keeps asking, because those who are young in 2015 are no longer young now. Those who are young in an earlier time have become older. What is it that is bringing this about? Is it that what is being consumed is addictive? Is it that many young people have a lot of time on their hands and they do not know what to do with it? Is it that they do not have jobs and these illicit brews are considered significantly cheaper? What is it that is making them? Because in the absence of the demand for this alcohol, the problem would not be there.
So let me put it this way. First of all, we are the problem. I don't know from where we created this activist economy or activist country. Everybody is an activist. I'm saying this because I have to compare our country with other countries. Because I travel a lot. I have lived in countries. How come there is not this problem in other countries? How come it's only a Kenyan problem? It's because, first of all, other countries, there's nothing like absolute freedom, even for countries which are more democratic than ours. But now ours, everybody wants to have rights of small pets, everybody wants to have their own set of rights, so-called rights, So that to put law and order becomes extremely difficult because we over exaggerate this entitlement to rights, especially after the 2010 Constitution, which is a very progressive document. But everybody, because we came from an era of mistrust where nobody would trust another. Oh, disability, unajua tumefinywa in the past, so now we want our space. Oh, women, all this, all that. Let me tell you something. I am the minister in charge of public service. And sometimes I try to strengthen public service because I'm the one who to come here on media and you ask me a question about public service and how performing. Then, in our own activist thinking, we made the Public Service Commission a completely independent. So my hands are tied. You'll come here and ask me about reform. But because we came from this culture of, like it will be biscuits, rights have to be dispersed left, right, and center like biscuits. So the flip side of that is the rule of law. And that's exactly why we have this particular problem. That, hebu jaribu kuguza hiyo. Hapana, unaingilia hawa, unaingilia wale wengine.
Wait.
So
are you saying that it's because of these rights that people are turning to alcohol?
No, I'm just saying that you could have a better regulated industry. Alcoholic beverage industry.
Okay.
But because of the mindset of the country is if you try to put order, you are trampling on somebody's rights. So it has been historically been very difficult to bring law and order. Like people are saying.
But why are people turning to alcohol?
I'm coming to that. I'm saying before you look at that, people will always turn to alcohol. Did you see? Are you a Christian? I think you're a Christian.
I am.
Don't you know they ran out of wine? It was an emergency.
Jesus' first miracle.
People are saying, Ebu, give me some airtime, I want to call Jesus. You know, it is it's the first miracle, you know. People will always turn to alcohol. Remember the story of Cain and Abel? Yeah? What did Cain do? Why was he cast? He looked at the nakedness of his father when his father was drunk. You know, that is as old as, you know, in the Genesis of the Bible. So, what I'm saying, Eric, you can look at it from the point of view of consumer and the point of view of the producer. So, why people take alcohol, that is a consumer issue. But more often than not, you'll find that what is likely to be under your control is the producer side, not the consumer side. That's why I'm talking about that legislation on removing the excise duty on ethanol. That's why I'm talking about that environment for clamping down, because you can only work on the producer side. The consumer side is so difficult to work on.
Why?
Because of human nature. Human nature, that's number one. Number two, let's look at our workforce structure. People who are above working age, do you know how old they are? How many they are? 19 million out of our 53 million. So let's track them, where they are. 1 million is like me, who are paid by
Government.
By you.
Taxpayer.
Hakuna government. You have to confuse
State and public officers.
You, taxpayer, pays me. Okay? So we are 1 million who are lucky enough to sit on your back.
18 million.
Yeah? 18 million left. 2 million is like you,
Public
guys
sector,
who
private sector.
wear ties and have a pay slip, and you have got, you know, you can speak some fairly good English. You are only 2 million.
16 million left.
16 million left. 6 million, they have somewhere to wake up to. Kibanda, you know, a garage somewhere. You know, they have a fixed abode. Yeah, you can find them somewhere.
10 million left.
And Yambia, 10 million are for cheering me. If I today I can go to some place in Laikipia called Wiomereria at 11 a.m. I'm not announced I'm going. I don't have even loudspeakers and all that. I just go and buy a banana in the market of Wiomereria market in Laikipia. Within 1 hour, I'll have a crowd that can be of a sizable political rally. So do you think it's because these people have left their farms to come and listen to you?
They didn't have
Oh, I am
anything to
very
do
handsome.
anyway.
Nothing. They didn't have anything to do. And that's the tragedy of our country. So that as much as we are talking about, this fighting and this policy and all that, let's not lose sight of those 10 people.
Yes.
The only thing that brings them somewhere to some convergence, they work for someone. They work for betting companies. Yeah? These 10 million people. All they do, the only activity that can engage their mind, Nikuekerea. That's the only thing they because they also bet on life.
So
they are good bettors.
So what brings them to that rally is the hope that there could be something that we
No,
put in
I'm just talking about the idleness.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
So now what we're saying essentially is that we had a conversation in this room about this very thing, and we said, unfortunately, it would appear as though the root cause of the issue is not being dealt with, and it looks like a firecracker kind of approach, whereby we're not looking at those 10 million people who do not have a solid source of employment, who have gone through some kind of trauma at some point where they don't have anything to come in during the day, where they don't have a source of income. And so it's frustrating. And the very little thing that they'll get for some of the comments that we see here, 50 shillings, 20 shillings, can drink something that will either turn them blind or kill them before the day goes out. They're drinking this stuff every day. But there's a reason why they're drinking it.
Absolutely. And that's why even I've been saying for some time, you go to the US, there are those things where there cannot be a Republican or a Democrat. If you come to issues of security, issues of even basic freedoms, there's some terrorism, there's some things when it comes to those issues, it's issues of Israel. There stops being Republicans and Democrats. liberals and conservatives. All those borders collapse. So those things are what I call uniquely American. So what are the things that are uniquely Kenyan? That you can agree. This none. That's a problem. Where we say this one, doesn't matter whether you are government or opposition. I don't know Kenya Kwanza or Lazimio. This issue of, if there was such a list, I would say anything touching on these 10 million people should not have this party or that party, this side or that side, because it is the biggest existential threat that we have as a country. So if I have my way, I would say for these 10 million people, listen, we are now arguing about housing, whether to have housing or not. We as in Kenya Kwanza, we believe we are doing housing, not because of housing, but because of these 10 million people. So it touches on 10 million people, That should have been, in my opinion, the first item on these NADCO discussions. It should have been about Project 10 million, yeah? Because Project 10 million cannot exist in a polarized political environment. Because it is so easy to do what is expedient, what is short-term, what is populist. Because we are competing. We're competing for power. But if we could say, let's quarantine anything that is for these 10 million people, then me, I'll raise my hand and say, okay, my housing, put it there. Then I will say, my industrial parks, in my other job, because of these 10 million people, I want to give them jobs, put it there. I will say, my labor migration, when I'm, trying to get some of them out of this, surplus base, let's put it there. Then somebody from Azimio will come and say, something of fishing boats because of somewhere, put it there. Then we say, this is our bundle, this is our package now. Watu wa livestock waseme hapana, anything touching on livestock is contributing to the 10 million. Then we create a national bundle. I guess that's what Vision 2030 was supposed to achieve. Whereby we say there are things that are uniquely in our national interest that we cannot quarrel about. But because of that, and that's where I really blame our broken politics. We cannot have consensus even on what is coming to swallow us, to completely decimate us. Because look at Nairobi, my friend. Look at Nairobi. What is Nairobi? Nairobi is one big slum with some sprinkles of some two greens. You look at Karen. What is Karen? It is Kibera Annex. You look at, Kitisuru. Muthaiga is Madare Annex. You look at Kitisuru, Rolesho. See, that is Kagemi Annex. We are just one big slum.
Runda is Kitokoro Annex.
Runda is Kitokoro Annex. Yeah?
That's like
So
a